As movie theaters begin to reopen nationwide, blockbuster films delayed by the pandemic are now hitting the big screen. Among the first of the summer season, In the Heights, which opens today in theaters and streams on HBO Max. As Jeffrey Brown reports, this modern-day musical with a Latino cast front and center is set in a specific neighborhood, Washington Heights in Manhattan, but it has high ambitions of shaking up Hollywood and beyond. The story is part of our ongoing arts and culture series, Canvas.
En un barrio called Washington Heights, the streets were made of music.
I am Usnavi, and you probably never heard my name.
It's a big-budget, big song and dance film about little dreams, or sueñitos.
And I built my little dream, my sueñitos.
In a community often overlooked in life and in Hollywood.
We're taking a flight to a couple of days in the life for what it's like in Washington Heights.
The specificity of the story is what made me feel so seen and so validated. I knew I wanted to be a part of this.
For once, says 26-year-old Leslie Grace, born in the Bronx to Dominican parents, that specificity is about Latinos living ordinary lives, not stereotypical film roles. Grace plays Nina Rosario, whose father has sacrificed all to send her to Stanford.
Look who's home!
With the weight of the entire neighborhood's hopes and expectations on her shoulders, a feeling she and others in this nearly all-Latino cast understood all too well. As you were growing up, did you see people like yourself? And as you're thinking and becoming a young actor, did you feel like there were roles for you?
I didn't. A lot of us didn't. A lot of us didn't have the fortune. And that's why I think we all felt like Nina at a certain point, feeling responsible for this story and immortalize it in a way that would make people feel seen and would make little boys and girls feel like, oh, they look like me and I can do that.
In the Heights, the theater musical opened on Broadway in 2008 and won a Tony Award for Best Musical. It was Lin-Manuel Miranda's first big show before the smash hit Hamilton. And he wrote it with Chiara Alegria Hudes in part to create new roles for Latino actors like himself. This time, Anthony Ramos plays the lead character.
And Steph.
Miranda has a small part as a street vendor and large role as producer. And he and now screenwriter Hudes have teamed with director John Chu of Crazy Rich Asians to turn the real Washington Heights into a grand stage. The bodegas and salons, apartment buildings and fire escapes, the hot summer days. A place where people from different islands, nations, and backgrounds can together build a new home.
Combing the stars in the sky.
Olga Merides plays Abuela, or grandmother Claudia, the matriarch of the block who encourages its young residents to remember their past while chasing their sueñitos. Merides is a theater, TV, and film veteran who remembers the days of being cast as maids and other marginal characters.
So many stars.
Here, in the role she originated in the theater production, she's given a show-stopping number, Paciencia y Fe.
Mama says we're poor. One day you say, vamos a Nueva York.
Lin-Manuel Miranda took this invisible character, you know, this person that maybe if she was walking down the street, you would not see her. And you would kind of say, move out of the way. I need to go where I need to go. I'm humbled to give her the platform that she deserves.
In one scene, Abuela Claudia shows Nina some hand-embroidered napkins her mother had made. This, too, hit home.
Sometimes we have to find those little mementos, those things from our past. I have albums of pictures from my Cuban family, so I don't forget where I come from.
According to a 2021 UCLA study of Hollywood diversity, while Latinos make up nearly 19% of the U.S. population, they account for 29% of movie tickets sold, yet still get fewer than 6% of all film roles. In the Heights changes the picture in an interesting way, normalizing Latino life on screen, according to Chon Noriega, director of the school's Chicano Studies Research Center.
What really struck me just early on is just you get those details, and the details are not narrated to you. You're hit with a lot of things that are just day-to-day life. the nature of exchanges, the types of products, the way people dress,
The food, of course, that we're
the
seeing.
food, and the ways in which they interact with each other that are marked not by being a homogeneous population, but by being internally diverse within one of the most diverse cities in the world.
Pero no sé dónde empezar.
Noriega cites past moments for Latinos on screen. Desi Arnaz in I Love Lucy, the films La Bamba, Zoot Suit, and others. The more complicated example of West Side Story, where, the great Rita Moreno aside, most Latino characters were played by white actors. A remake by Steven Spielberg due out in December promises to change that. But bigger change?
You kind of pick up on a sense of doubt about it because over the long run of the last 40 to 50 years, it hasn't changed. This is a great way to call that question. It's good to be hopeful about it and to see this as something that can be not the signal of change, but a launching pad for further change.
Olga Meredez says now is exactly the moment for In the Heights.
This movie is a game changer. I don't know if it's the timing of the, we're finishing this pandemic, thank God, and people are just craving for joy and light and music and positivity.
Can we raise our voice tonight? Can we make a little noise tonight?
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Jeffrey Brown.
They can hear us across the bridge and needs to caucus.
We could use a lot of joy and can't wait to watch that one.